Iwaizumi had to admit this might not have been the best idea he had. After the prank, the atmosphere in the house was cold, to say the least. Oikawa was still pissed at him, wasn't talking with him at all, only responding with grunts and shrugs when asked directly, and even refused to sleep in the same bed, meaning Iwaizumi moved to the lower floor on the couch 2 nights ago. He knew he messed up right after the prank, but it was only now that he fully realized the real extent of Oikawa's anger. He sighed, watching Oikawa's back moving in front of him as they ascended to the top of the hill. He thought a short hike could help settle things between them a bit. They would breathe in some fresh air, clear their heads, and maybe look at the whole situation from another angle. But it didn't seem to work. Oikawa just shrugged when Iwaizumi came with the suggestion to go hiking, and hadn't said a word since they got into the car. He didn't even wait for Iwaizumi to get his things before he started to hike up the path. Since then, the only sounds except for the nature around them were their footsteps on the gravel path and their half breathing. And it was driving Iwaizumi crazy. Can you slow down a bit? Why? Because you'll get tired before you even get to the top. Oikawa huffed. I'm an athlete. I can manage. Thank you very much. Iwaizumi rolled his eyes. I'm not doubting that, but you could still slow down. Oikawa let out a short, humorless laugh. Don't tell me you are tired. You, the ever-so-strong Hajime. Shouldn't you be in better shape when you want to be a trainer? Or did the pretending to be unconscious tire you out this much? Iwaizumi sighed. Toru, could you stop with this already? I'm sorry, okay? I apologize to you, multiple times. What else do you want me to do? Oikawa threw a murderous gaze at him over his shoulder and sped up even more. Iwaizumi rolled his eyes. Come on, you'll miss all the views and nature around. It's such a pretty place, and we are probably the only ones here. Can't you appreciate at least that much? Oikawa turned around sharply, his eyes blazing. No, I can't. I'm not in the mood to enjoy anything right now if you didn't notice. I have just about enough, Hajime. All I wanted were nice, pleasant visits I could spend with my boyfriend. But no, you have to act like a total ass on both occasions. Iwaizumi paused, slightly taken aback by Oikawa's words. He gritted his teeth. Hey, don't blame everything on me. I admit the prank wasn't the best idea, but what exactly did I do the first time? I told you I was busy with school. Oh yeah, right, that totally excuse you, I forgot. You crashed in my place without even asking first, remember? And it was you who said I don't deserve you. That hurt, you know? Oikawa clenched his jaw and turned his back to Iwaizumi again, resuming his walk. You can blame yourself for that. Maybe you really don't deserve me. Toru! But Oikawa ignored him and soon disappeared behind the first turn. Damn it. Helplessness settled in his chest. He wasn't sure who he was more upset at, if at Oikawa for being like this, or at himself for making Oikawa act like this. He groaned quietly, repositioning the backpack on his back, which suddenly started to feel really heavy. He probably shouldn't take the ring with him when he didn't know the outcome of this trip. But it was a reflex at that point. He continued up the path when he came across a small batch of stones with a nice viewing area on a steep cliff. Taking a deep breath, he took a moment to enjoy the view. He leaned on the railing, but quickly stepped away when the wood crumbled under his fingers. That's fucking dangerous. Looking down, it would be a certain death fall. He shook the backpack from his shoulders, settled on the rocks, and rubbed his face. Looks like I messed up more than I thought. Thank goodness this trail is so rarely used. I bet the other hikers would get a real kick from seeing us. He fished the ring box out of the backpack. The white gold shimmered in the sun, throwing reflections on his face. I wonder if he'll even want it after this. He might give up on that dream wedding too. God damn it. He was torn from his thoughts by the sound of footsteps behind his back. He turned around, surprised, quickly closing the box. Can I help you? Oikawa POV. Oikawa was fuming the whole way up, picking up a killer pace since the argument. But he wasn't going to slow down, even if he was about to start coughing blood. He didn't look back, he didn't ease on his pace. He just sped walked to the top of the hill, not wanting to look at Iwaizumi's face at least for a while. He couldn't understand why he would do a prank like this to him. For fun, that would be messed up. To get back at him, he huffed. He deserved the "you don't deserve me" one. Maybe for the going quiet one, but that was so long ago. Stupid Hajime. He clenched his jaw and continued up the trail without pause until he reached the top. There was a small seating area with 2 tables and a few benches, and a small natural cooler in the form of tiny, ice-cold stream with a few bottles of lemonade and water. He threw his backpack on the ground and grabbed 1 bottle from the stream, leaving the change in a small bin next to it. He downed half the bottle, shooing away the tiny, annoying voice in his head sounding a lot like Iwaizumi telling him to drink slowly. He grumbled under his breath, but forced himself to stop. Stupid Hajime. Now that he thought about the argument, replaying their words in his head over and over again, he might have gone a bit too far. He was angry, sure, justifiably so. But the truth was, Iwaizumi surely didn't mean any harm and did apologize multiple times, and was apparently trying to make it up to him. Hence this trip. Iwaizumi was right, it really was beautiful here. He wondered how long it took him to find this trail. He suddenly paused and furrowed his brow, the wind carrying a faint sound that shouldn't be there to his ears. Was that someone shouting? He fell silent and listened, but everything was quiet again. He wondered if it was Iwaizumi looking for him. If it was, he knows where to find me. He took out his phone, surprised he had a signal, and scrolled through his social media, uploading a few pictures of the view he took, and waited for Iwaizumi to catch up with him. 15 minutes passed, and there was no sign of the other man. Oikawa frowned, wondering if he stopped on the way for some reason. Maybe he really is tired. He was on the couch for the last 2 nights, maybe he couldn't sleep. What if he collapsed somewhere? Cold shivers ran down his spine, all anger replaced by worry. It's fine. Maybe he's just taking a break or taking photos. The view was really nice at that one place. Yeah, that's probably it. Still, he couldn't shake off the feeling that something was really wrong. He fidgeted around for a few more minutes before he grabbed his backpack and headed down the path he came. If he's stuck somewhere taking pictures, I'm gonna be pissed. He expected to see Iwaizumi behind the first turn, but when he couldn't spot him even behind the third, he really started to worry. No way he could outrun him this much, right? He was already at the place where they split, but Iwaizumi was nowhere to be seen. Hajime? Hajime! Come on, if you are hiding, it isn't funny. No answer. It even seemed like the nature itself went silent. And Oikawa was in full panic mode right now. He wouldn't just turn around without telling me, right? Oh, he would at least send a message. He walked slowly along the path, looking around for clues as to where Iwaizumi might have disappeared. He didn't stop calling his name, praying for an answer. But there was none. He soon got to a bunch of rocks by a cliffside viewpoint where he froze, noticing the trampled vegetation and the broken railing. Oh God, please tell me it was like this before. He ran to the edge and carefully looked over the flimsy, rotten railing. His heart stopped. About 10 meters under him, on a ledge that interrupted the otherwise straight cliffside, laid Iwaizumi on his back, his right leg twisted under him into an unnatural position, a dark stain forming by his head. Hajime! Can you hear me? Say something, please! Please be alive. He fumbled with his phone, dialing the emergency number on the third attempt. Please be alive. Please. The helicopter arrived about 5 minutes after a long session of finding out where exactly they were, because Oikawa had no idea. He was gnawing on his nails the whole time, the rescue feeling like it took eternity before they finally lifted Iwaizumi up on the stretches. He didn't even notice one of the supporting paramedics that came by foot was talking to him. The guy had to practically shake him awake. He asked him a lot of questions Oikawa had no answer for. No, he didn't know what happened. No, he didn't know when it happened. No, he didn't know if there was someone else on the trail. His mind was solely focused on Iwaizumi, the image of his boyfriend's motionless body engraved into his mind. Why did I leave you? Why did I have to go ahead so much? Why? Why? They rushed Iwaizumi to a hospital, and Oikawa, moving on autopilot, followed the other paramedics to the car and arrived in the hospital when Iwaizumi was already being operated on. No one was able to tell him anything, forcing him to sit in front of the surgery room and wait for the result. His hands shook the whole time, bleeding slightly from his own nails digging deep into his flesh. About 4 hours later, a doctor finally emerged from the door, and Oikawa's heart sped up. How is he? Is he alright? Are you from his family? His partner. The doctor nodded. He suffered several fractured ribs, cracked skull, and some of the bones in his right leg and wrist were broken. 2 of his vertebrae in the chest area are also broken, but he was lucky and it didn't damage the spinal cord, so there shouldn't be any complications for his movement. Overall, he got really lucky he survived the fall with only a few broken bones. It could have been much worse. So he's going to be alright? With the correct rehabilitation, yes. Oikawa let out a relieved breath, tears spilling from his eyes. The doctor tapped his shoulder. He's a strong guy. I'm sure he will make it just fine. I have to warn you though, there's no saying whether the fall did something to his brain or not. So be prepared, there might be some sort of trauma to his head. Like what? Considering the location of the injury, it's possible he might suffer from damage to his sight, or a temporary memory loss. Or he could be absolutely fine. We won't know for sure until he wakes up. Oikawa nodded, the ground swaying under his feet a bit. Can I see him? He's still at the ICU just in case, but he'll be soon released to a normal room. I'll send a nurse for you when that happens. Thank you. He almost started to cry when he entered the room. There were bruises and scrapes all over Iwaizumi's body and face, all the tubes he was wrapped in making Oikawa nauseous, the constant beeping of the heart monitor resonating through his head. He sat by the bed, gently taking hold of his boyfriend's hand. Hajime? I'm not sure if you can hear me right now, but I'm not mad anymore. I know I was stupid and I'm sorry, really. But if you don't fight and get better soon, I'll be angry again, you know? So you better be okay. Please be okay. Please. He pressed a gentle kiss on Iwaizumi's fingers, tears stinging in his eyes. Did I tell you how much I love you? A lot. Really. More than anything. Even more than volleyball, you know? Because if I lost volleyball, I would be upset. But if I lost you, I don't know what I would do. A sour chuckle escaped his mouth as he wiped his eyes. But I bet you are probably pretty upset with me right now, right? I guess I deserve it for leaving you behind, and for not coming to help you in time. It was you who showed it, right? When you fell. And I didn't do anything. His own words from a few days prior resonated through his head. Don't expect me to help you when you get hurt for real. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Please. He wasn't sure when he fell asleep, but it was already dark outside when he was jolted awake by a movement under his head and a quiet groaning. He showed up, a wide smile spreading over his face when he saw Iwaizumi's eyes open. Hajime! Iwaizumi winced and Oikawa cringed inwardly. Sorry. I'll keep it down. He squeezed Iwaizumi's hand. How do you feel? Iwaizumi groaned. Like trampled over by a herd of elephants. He looked around confused. Where am I? And who are you? Oikawa's heart dropped. You don't know? Iwaizumi shook his head a bit, only what the brace allowed him to, and Oikawa had to clench his other hand to prevent it from trembling. He forced a smile. That's fine. You are in hospital. You had a huge fall. You fell off a cliff during a hike. The doctor said you might have a bit of memory loss because you hit your head. Iwaizumi furrowed his brow. The doctor... So, you have to be from my family if they told you, right? Oikawa nodded, trying his hardest not to cry. Well, not yet. Maybe not ever after this. I'm sorry. Huh? Oh, no, don't be. It's not your fault. I'm sure you will remember with time. But still, you are clearly important to me. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. He looked up at Oikawa, his eyes soft and apologetic. What are we? Are you sure you want to know? You might start feeling even worse. I don't want that. Please tell me. Oikawa took a deep breath. I'm Toru, or Trashikawa as you like to call me. We are friends. We've known each other since we were 6 and we've been dating since 18, which is soon 5 years. Iwaizumi's eyes widened and Oikawa panicked. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. I knew it would make you feel worse. No, wait. Trashi. Toru. I know that. I'm in Argentina now, right? I came here to visit you and we argued on that hike, right? Oikawa nodded, not trying to contain his tears anymore, letting them fall on the sheets. Yeah. Do you remember what happened to you? You went ahead because you were upset, and I stopped by some viewpoint. He looked around frantically, hissing when the brace around his neck stopped him. Where's my backpack? I had something important there. I don't know what, but it was important. Where is it? I don't know. You didn't have the backpack anymore when I found you. Maybe it fell with you and it didn't get caught on the ledge? Iwaizumi furrowed his brow in concentration, the distress clearly visible on his face. No, it couldn't fall. I didn't have it on me when... There was some guy on the path. He came to me because of that thing I had in my hand. He wanted it and I refused. He grabbed it, but... We fought about it and... Then he pushed me and the railing broke. And then I was falling. Oikawa's heart stopped, breath hitching in his throat. Wait, are you trying to say someone pushed you down? What was it, damn it? Hajime! I know I didn't want to give up on it because it was important. His eyes suddenly widened. Oh no, the ring! He wanted the ring! Oikawa clasped both his hands over his mouth. Someone tried to kill you because of a ring? Why didn't you give it to him? You almost died because of a stupid ring? Iwaizumi winced, and guilt constricted Oikawa's chest. Sorry. It wasn't stupid, Toru. It was an engagement ring. For you. I couldn't give up on it. Oikawa choked out a strangled sob, guilt hitting him like a truck at full speed. Not only he didn't go to help his own boyfriend in time, but he could prevent this whole thing from happening if he just stayed by Iwaizumi's side. Even worse, Iwaizumi got pushed down because of a ring he could already have on him if he wasn't butthurt over a stupid prank. He hid his face in his palms, nails digging into his scalp. I'm sorry, Hajime. I'm so sorry. Toru? What's... It's all my fault. If I just stayed with you, You almost died and it's my fault. I'm so sorry. A warm hand guided his own away from his hair, rubbing small circles into his wrist. I'm so sorry, Hajime. Shh. It's fine. Don't blame yourself. How can I not? If I stay with you, he wouldn't try to rob you. Or I could help you, but... Or you could fall with me. You don't know what could happen. But... No buts. It wasn't your fault. You couldn't know. So don't blame yourself, okay? He sighed. I'm sorry for losing the ring. Oikawa shook his head, putting Iwaizumi's hand to his face, pressing a small kiss to his palm. Don't worry about the ring. Just get better, okay? I don't need anything else. Iwaizumi smiled lightly, cupping Oikawa's cheek. Alright. For you. Love you. Love you too. But please don't do anything like this ever again. My heart can't take it. I was so scared when I saw you just lying there. I'm sorry for saying I won't help you if you get hurt for real. I didn't mean it, I swear. Iwaizumi squeezed his hand. Don't worry about it. And I promise, no hurting myself, for a prank or for real. Thank you.